Have you ever noticed that the more money is at stake in a corporate boardroom, the more the executives sound like they're planning a weekend picnic? Or, I don't know, a casual game of baseball.
Yeah, the contrast is definitely jarring. I mean, you have these multinational million-dollar budgets on the line, right?
Hmm.
But the vocabulary being thrown around is entirely domestic and, well, folksy.
Right, exactly. So, welcome to today's deep dive. For you listening, our mission today is to decode the bizarre psychological strategy hidden inside these basic business idioms. We are looking at some notes on technical discussions covering 5 essential phrases.
And these phrases, they really act as a behavioral lubricant for teams.
Okay, let's unpack this because to the untrained ear, these just sound like generic corporate jargon, but they are actually, highly calibrated tools for managing leverage and mitigating risk, too.
Exactly. Before any multinational can scale its operations, it really has to establish a baseline of trust and economic stability,
Yep.
which is where concepts like low-hanging fruit and bread and butter come into play.
Yeah, and most of you listening probably already know these terms. Your bread and butter is like your core economic pillar. Say you have a massive manufacturing division relying on high-precision reducers.
Right, that's the stuff that keeps the company alive.
Uh,
And then the low-hanging fruit, well, those are the easy, immediate wins.
But wait, if the bread and butter is the main course that actually keeps the lights on, aren't we just distracting the team by chasing low-hanging fruit? I mean, why not focus all our energy on the core product?
Well, what's fascinating here is the underlying resource management psychology. You aren't grabbing that easy fruit because it's nutritionally valuable to the company.
Oh, so it's not about the actual value of the task.
Not exactly. You grab it to buy time and stakeholder goodwill. In a high-stakes environment, demonstrating immediate visible progress creates this protective shield of trust.
Ah, I see. A shield around your slower-moving, highly complex core business.
Precisely. It buys you the runway you need for the bread and butter to actually succeed.
But grabbing easy wins only buys you so much time, right? Eventually, macroeconomic shifts happen, or maybe an R&D budget gets delayed.
Yeah, and suddenly your perfectly laid plans are entirely up in the air.
Right. And that kind of suspended uncertainty, I imagine it breeds massive anxiety across a global team. People just freeze.
They really do. And this is exactly when you need a specific communication tactic to prevent paralysis,
Yeah.
which is where the need to touch base comes into play.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting because, honestly, I've always hated that phrase. Isn't touching base just, corporate fluff?
A lot of people feel that way, yeah.
Like if I'm an engineer waiting on a stalled R&D budget, I don't want a manager touching base. I want a clear directive. Why not just send an email when the final decision is actually made?
Well, because if you wait for the final decision, you risk losing the team's alignment in the interim. Think of touching base less like a literal baseball game and more like a submarine sending out a single sonar ping in muddy waters.
A sonar ping. Oh, wow, that's a really good way to look at it.
Right. It is a low-friction bureaucratic bypass. You use it for things like finalizing trade show travel arrangements.
So it maintains human connection and confirms everyone is still looking at the same map without, forcing a premature formal commitment that could backfire.
Exactly. It's just a quick check-in to keep the gears turning.
It's a lightweight ping to avoid a collision. I really like that.
Yeah.
And all this careful maneuvering, shielding the core business, pinging the team during periods of uncertainty, it all points toward the ultimate objective in any negotiation.
Which is, of course, the win-win situation.
Right. So what does this all mean for our listener sitting in their next big meeting?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, a win-win is rarely about altruism or being polite. It is the absolute foundation of long-term leverage.
Like the strategic example in our sources, right? Sharing testing facilities with a vendor. Your company bypasses a bottleneck for faster results, while the vendor gains proprietary insights.
Exactly. It is behavioral economics in action. You are actively constructing a scenario where both sides have a deeply vested, selfish interest in the other's ongoing success.
It's mutually assured production. When you use these phrases, you aren't just demonstrating English proficiency. You are signaling to the room that you understand the hidden mechanics of corporate alignment, leverage, and mutual benefit.
Yeah, you are really speaking the unspoken language of business strategy.
Which leaves me with a final thought for you to chew on. If these idioms are the psychological padding of today's corporate world, what happens tomorrow?
That is a great question.
Right. Like with the rapid rise of remote work and real-time AI translation, will the low-hanging fruit and the sonar ping translate seamlessly? Or will the AI strip away the psychology, take the baseball metaphors literally, and just leave your global partners entirely up in the air?